Hello students, now we are going to study semi-conservative replication of DNA. Okay, replication of DNA means when the DNA make many copies or get multiplies, then it is called as replication of DNA. Then we have to study semi-conservative method. Semi-conservative means what? Semi means half and conserve means save. Okay, now semi-conservative replication of DNA we are studying. This model or this replication is explained by the scientists Watson and Crick. Okay, so we are studying semi-conservative replication. Okay, see what happens here in newly formed DNA. When the newly formed DNA molecule is there, in that daughter DNA molecule, one strand is old strand, parental strand, or you can say it is conserved strand, and the other strand is newly synthesized, okay, or newly formed. That's why it is called as semi-conservative mode of replication. I'll explain you this properly with the help of diagram, but at present you have to keep in mind we are going to study semi-conservative replication of DNA. We are studying how DNA gets replicated or gets multiplied, and why it is called as semi-conservative, because as DNA is having two strands, out of these two strands, one strand is older one, or it is conserved one, or it is parental, and another strand which is formed is a newly formed strand. Okay, so this is called as semi-conservative replication of DNA. This method or this replication is completed in 7 steps. All these steps you have to keep in mind. First step is activation of nucleotide. Second is point of origin, or you can say initiation point. Third one is unwinding of DNA molecule. Fourth one is replication fork, or you can say replicating fork. Fifth one is synthesis of new strands. Sixth one is leading and lagging strand, and last, that is seventh one, is formation of daughter DNA molecule. Now all these 7 steps you have to keep in mind in sequence only. In this sequence only you will keep in mind. Okay, how you can, in other way, how you can keep in mind? APUR SLF, APUR SLF. Okay, now in any case you have to learn this 7 steps. Now we'll proceed with the first step. Now we are going to study how the replication of DNA takes place. First, A for activation of nucleotide. See, the name is only indicating what is happening over here. Nucleotides are there. Now what is the meaning of nucleotide? See, adenine, one nucleotide means it contains nitrogen bases, it contains phosphate group. Okay, this is nothing but and it contains sugar also. These 3 includes or becomes one nucleotide. So initially at the starting of replication, what happens? DNA has 4 different types of nucleotide. You know, 4 different types of nucleotide means adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. These 4 nucleotides are there in the nucleoplasm, but initially it is in the form of monophosphate. Okay, inside the DNA there are 4 different types of nucleotide inside the nucleoplasm, which is in the form of monophosphate. That is adenine monophosphate, guanine monophosphate, cytosine monophosphate and thymine monophosphate. Okay, what happens now? These 4 different nucleotides becomes activated. Okay, because of this activation is taking place due to the presence of an enzyme called as phosphorylase. This name of enzyme is very important. Okay, so what is happening here? Initially inside the nucleoplasm there are 4 different types of nucleotides which are in the form of monophosphate. Later on, these, as soon as the replication process starts, the all 4 nucleotides becomes activated, okay, by ATP in presence of enzyme phosphorylase, and it results into the formation of triphosphate, that is AMP becomes ATP. Adenosine monophosphate becomes adenosine triphosphate. GMP means guanosine monophosphate becomes guanosine triphosphate. Cytosine monophosphate becomes cytosine triphosphate, and thymine monophosphate becomes thymine triphosphate. Okay, this process of activation of nucleotide is called as phosphorylation. So here we have completed first step. What is the first step? Activation of nucleotide. The name is only indicating here what is happening. The nucleotide is getting activated. Okay, there are 4 different types of nucleotide, A, G, C, T. These 4 nucleotides, initially they are in the form of monophosphate. They get activated by ATP in presence of enzyme phosphorylase, and monophosphate get converted into triphosphate, and this process is called as phosphorylation. So here we have completed first step. Now our second step is point of origin, or it is also called as initiation point. Okay, point of origin, or it is also called as initiation point. Now see the first step. The point at which the replication starts is called as origin point or O point or initiation point, and the point at which the replication ends is called as T point. I'll show you this with the help of diagram. See this point, the point where the replication starts. Replication means division. The point where the replication starts is called as O point, or it is called as initiation point, or it is called as origin point. And the point where this replication ends, this is called as T point. Okay, first point is clear to you. We have to just explain the point. The point where the replication starts is called as O point or origin point or initiation point. The point at which the replication stops or ends is called as T point. Now we'll proceed towards second point. The unit of DNA in which the replication occurs is called as a replicon. And in prokaryotes, no, there is only one replicon, and in eukaryotes there are many replicon. What it means? See, replicon means what? Replicon means it is the segment or the unit of DNA which is responsible for maintaining replication, or which is responsible for replication. That particular segment of DNA is called as a replicon. What is replicon? The particular segment of DNA or unit of DNA which is responsible for multiplication or which is responsible for replication of DNA is called as a replicon. And in prokaryotes there is only one replicon, and in eukaryotes there are many replicons. This will be our second point. Next, then at point O, what happens as soon as the replication starts? At point O or origin point, nick means notch. Nick formation takes place by enzyme endonuclease. Wherever cutting is there or nick formation is there, no, only one enzyme is responsible, that is called as endonuclease. See what happens here? At the O point or origin point, nick formation takes place, notch development takes place because of the presence of enzyme endonuclease in the sugar phosphate bond or in phosphodiester bond. Means in sugar phosphate bond or in phosphodiester bond, nick formation or notch formation takes place. So only 3 points you have to keep in mind. You have to keep in mind the first point. Here the point where the replication start is called as O point or origin point or initiation point. The point at which the replication ends or stop is called as termination point. Second point you have to keep in mind, in prokaryotes there is only one replicon, and in eukaryotes there are many replicons. Last point which you are supposed to keep in mind, at this origin point nick formation takes place due to the presence of an enzyme called as restriction endonuclease, or you can simply say endonuclease enzyme. Okay, now We'll proceed towards third step. Third step is unwinding of DNA molecule. Unwinding means just opening. Okay. Unwinding of DNA molecule means what? See what is happening here. Unwinding of DNA takes place by DNA unwinding protein. See, everywhere enzyme is responsible. If winding is there, some enzyme is required. If unwinding is there, some enzymes are required. So here what happens? What is the first step? Unwinding of DNA takes place by DNA unwinding protein. Means what? See, here initially this is coiled, or you can say winding takes place, or it is highly coiled. What happens as soon as the replication start, this part undergo uncoiling, okay, due to the presence of an enzyme that is called as DNA unwinding protein. So see, the name is also very easy. Unwinding, who is doing the process of unwinding in DNA? That protein is called as DNA unwinding protein. Okay, so first step is DNA molecule get unwind. Second step, then what happens after getting unwind? These hydrogen bonds between the two strands are broken due to the presence of enzyme called as helicase enzyme. Now see what happens here. This unwinding, this coiling opens. Okay, the DNA gets uncoiled or it gets unwind. Then what happens? Between the strands hydrogen bonds are present. These hydrogen bonds are just broken because of the presence of an enzyme called as helicase enzyme. Okay, now what is the third step? Two strands. Now see, as soon as there is the breaking in the hydrogen bond, or hydrogen bonds are broken, means both the strands get separated from each other. You can see here see, these are the original two strands. Blue color, these are the original two strands. What happens? As soon the hydrogen bond which are present over here, as soon as there is these hydrogen bonds are broken, both the strands get separated from each other. Okay, as soon as, and they are getting separated from each other, and as soon as they get separated, they form Y-shaped structure, inverted Y-like structure. This is called as Y-shaped structure. You can say replication or replicating fork. Now, two strands get separated from each other and Y-shape replication, or you can say replicating fork is formed. Now what happens? These two strands separated from each other. Okay, but there is the chances that any time they can undergo uncoiling. They can undergo winding, or they can again undergo coiling or winding. This is prevented by the presence of an enzyme called as SSBP. SSBP means single stranded binding protein. Okay, so these are the four steps. What you have to keep in mind? What happens first here? First, the coiling or the uncoiling or unwinding of DNA molecule takes place. Second, what happens? Whatever the hydrogen bonds are present here in between the two strands, these hydrogen bonds are broken. Third step, what is happening here? As soon as the hydrogen bond is broken due to the presence of helicase enzyme, these two strands get separated from each other. Because of this separation, it forms inverted Y-shaped structure, which is called as replication fork or replicating fork. And last point, there is the chances that these two strands can again undergo coiling or can again undergo winding. So it is prevented, this winding or coiling is prevented due to the presence of an enzyme called as SSBP, means single stranded binding protein. So here we have completed unwinding of DNA molecule. Now our fourth step is replication fork. See, just how I told you, the point which is formed because of the unwinding, or you can say because of unwinding, because of separation of two strands, this Y-shaped structure is formed. Okay, because of the separation of these two strands, because of the breaking of hydrogen bond, these two strands get separated from each other, and these two strands results into the formation of Y-shaped structure. This type of structure, inverted Y-shaped structure, is called as replication fork, or it is also called as replicating fork. Okay, then the unwinding of two strands imposes strain, which is relieved by superhelix relaxing enzyme. Means what? See, when here the uncoiling is taking place, naturally here lot of pressure will be created, maximum coiling or maximum winding will be here. This will create stress, or you can say it will create a strain on this part. This part is relaxed, this part is unwinding, winding is relaxed due to the presence of an enzyme called as superhelix relaxing enzyme. So here we have completed fourth point, that is replicating fork or replication fork. What is the first point here? Because of the separation of these two strands, because of the breaking of these hydrogen bonds, the two strands get separated, and as they get separated, they form inverted Y-shaped structure, which is called as replication fork, or it is also called as replicating fork. Okay, now one more point is there here. Because of this unwinding, no, here lot of stress or maximum coiling or maximum winding takes place. It creates pressure, or you can say it creates stress, or you can say it creates strain in this area, which is relaxed by one enzyme called as superhelix relaxing protein. Okay, so here we have completed superhelix relaxing enzyme. So here we have completed fourth point. Now we'll proceed towards fifth step, that is synthesis of new strands. How the formation of new strand takes place. See, what is the first point here? Each separated strand acts as template or mole strand for the synthesis of new complementary strand. Means what? See, this blue color part, each separated strand act as template strand. Template means the strand on which new strand is going to synthesize. So that older strand where the new strand is going to synthesize, that older strand is called as template strand. Okay, so what is our first point? Each separated strand act as template strand, or you can say mold strand for the synthesis of new strand. These two strands, this is first strand and this is another strand, they act as template strand, means they allow the formation of new strands on them. Second point, RNA primer get associated or get attached to the 3' end of the template strand and attracts the complementary nucleotide from the surrounding nucleoplasm. Means what? Now see what happens here. Here this is the 3' end. Always towards the 3' end, RNA primer get attached. What is the function of RNA primer? This RNA primer, which is attached towards the 3' end, brings or attracts the complementary nucleotide from the nucleoplasm and results into the formation of new strand. Means what? Suppose here adenine is there. What this RNA primer will do? Adenine, it brings from the nucleoplasm, it will attract thymine and it will form bonding. If here cytosine is present, RNA primer, if cytosine is positioned here or it is present here, this RNA primer will search guanosine and it will bring and it will attach over here. Okay, so always towards the 3' end, RNA primer get attached. RNA primer brings the complementary nucleotide and results into the formation of new strand. Then, now we'll proceed towards third point. The complementary nucleotide bind with nucleotides of template strand by hydrogen bond, and the newly formed nucleotide is interconnected by phosphodiester bond. Means what? See here, if here adenine is there, here RNA primer will bring thymine. these two nucleotides are bind or are combined together with the help of hydrogen bond. Whatever the nucleotides are present here on template strand are bind with the help of hydrogen bond. Okay, here attachment is there with the help of hydrogen bond, but when here this one nucleotide is joining with another nucleotide, many nucleotides will be there. They are attached with each other with the help of phosphodiester bond. Okay, this is very important. We are studying which step we are studying? We are studying synthesis of new strand. How new strand is going to synthesize, that we are studying. We'll proceed towards last point. The synthesis of new strand is always in 5'3' direction and in presence of enzyme DNA polymerase. This is very important. New strand formation is taking place, which is always in 5'3' direction, and one very important enzyme is there, that is called as DNA polymerase. This new strand formation takes place in presence of DNA polymerase only. Okay, so which point we have studied? Synthesis of new strand. 5 important points we have studied. First point which we have studied is this strand, the separated strand act as template strand and help in the formation of, or give permission for the formation of new strand. Second, we have studied this RNA primer is attached towards the 3' end and it brings the complementary nucleotide, arrange the complementary nucleotide and results into the formation of new strand. Okay. Again we have studied this nucleotide combines with or joined or link with another nucleotide, means the nucleotide of old strand is combined or joined or link with the nucleotide of new strand with the help of hydrogen bond. Okay, means it between old strand and new strand hydrogen bonds are acting as a linkage, and in this new strand the nucleotides are linked together with the help of phosphodiester bond. This formation of new strand takes place in presence of one important enzyme, that is called as DNA polymerase. So here we have studied how synthesis is taking place. Now next is leading and lagging strand. Now what happens when the synthesis of new strand takes place? See, actually two strands are going to form. This is first strand and this will be another strand. So how exactly the formation of the strand is taking place? See what happens here. The strand with free 3' end is called as leading template and the strand with 5' end is called as lagging template. I'll show you here. The strand which is having free 3' end is called as leading strand, and the another strand which is having free 5' end is called as lagging strand. This always you have to keep in mind. See, you can use the word 3' or you can say 3'. Actually the word is 3'. So the end which is having 3' end is called as leading strand or leading template, and the template or the strand which is having free 5' end is called as lagging template. So name is clear to you. This is called as leading template. This is called as lagging template. Now the newly synthesized strand develops on 3' 5' template is in 5' 3' direction in continuous manner and at fast rate. Hence it is called as leading complementary strand. Means what? See, the strand which the newly formed strand which develops on this strand, means on leading template, is always in the form of continuation. Can you see from the diagram? The newly formed strand which is proceeding from 5' end, okay, which is on this leading strand, this newly formed strand is in continuous manner. Okay, it is in continuous manner and at faster rate. So this faster rate means it is doing the strand formation is doing very fastly. So that's why this strand is called as leading strand. Now the another strand, when you will see to this strand, now see what happens. RNA primer is here. RNA primer is for results into the formation of this strand. Okay, and RNA primer is proceeding here. Now what happens? Now another strand formation takes place here. which is naturally, now see, this is 3 dash end means this is 5 dash end, this is 5 dash end means this is 3 dash end. So what happens here, again RNA primer get attached and strand formation takes place in this manner on the lagging strand. But what happens here, when strand formation is taking place, it is not forming in this manner, it is not forming continuously. When strand formation takes place on this strand, on lagging strand, it is in the form of small fragments. These small fragments are called as Okazaki fragments, and later on these fragments get joined, okay, with the help of enzyme DNA ligase. So here strand formation is taking place at faster rate in a continuous manner, but when the strand formation is taking place here, it is in the form of fragments, small fragments. Those fragments are called as Okazaki fragments, and later on these fragments get joined with the help of one enzyme called as DNA ligase. So that's why this strand formation is taking place fastly. So it is called as leading. Leading means winner. And here first fragments are forming and then complete strand formation is taking place. So it is taking too much time. So that's why it is called as lagging strand. Okay. So here we have completed this point, lagging strand. After the formation of complementary strand, RNA primer is removed. See, now the formation of the purpose of this RNA primer over. What is the function of this RNA primer? Just newly form to form new strand. Here also new strand is formed. Here also new strand is formed. Now when the RNA primer is proceeding here and when it is coming up to 5' end, its work get over. Newly strand formation took place. So this RNA primer, now it is released by one enzyme called as DNA polymerase. Okay, so here we have completed leading and lagging strand. Now the last point is formation of daughter DNA molecule. Now see what happens at the end of replication. Now see, this replication process over. Formation of these two strands over means there is formation of two daughter molecule. So at the end of replication, two daughter DNA molecules are formed. Now what happens, in each DNA molecule, one strand is new and one is old. Okay, one is daughter molecule and another strand is of parental side. Hence it is called as semi-conservative replication of DNA. See here, if you see, this blue color is parental. Okay, when there is formation of these two daughter molecules, one this blue color strand means this is conserve one, this is parental, and this yellow color means newly formed. So here when there is formation of two daughter molecules, here half portion or you can say one strand is from parental side or it is conserve and half is newly formed. That's why it is called as semi-conservative replication of DNA. So here we have completed semi-conservative replication of DNA.